Hey, it's Isaac Aiken here with Seven Roses Pro Scooters. Follow me on Instagram at Schwagg the Scientist. So today, I'm here to unbox the Aztek Siren. I'm extremely excited about it. I've been waiting for it since I heard that there was a 6-inch deck coming out on the market. So without further ado, I'll slide it out. So it comes in raw and black. I'm showing off the raw and I'll show you the black in a moment. But I'm showing the raw off because I like how raw it actually is. It shows a lot of like the color from the manufacturing, the heat treat, the welds. You can see the discoloration here. You can see some of like the rainbow colors almost on here. Some of the dings and scuffs, but it gives it some character. It's a lot different than a lot of the other raw decks that you get. Another thing that you'll notice is, the welds don't look the prettiest, but they're beefy welds, and aluminum isn't the easiest thing to get clean welds on. So these welds definitely up to par, and definitely pretty sweet looking altogether. So the dimensions of this deck, I believe it's a 82.5 degree head tube angle, and it's a 6-inch wide deck plate. It tapers on the sides. I believe it's like 5.5 on the bottom, maybe 5 inches on the bottom, but 6 on the top, and oh my gosh, is that a hell of a lot of room, and it feels good. So it's 23 inches long, which is nice. It really complements the 6 inches wide. It feels like a really, really good deck altogether, especially with this head tube design too. It's real light in the front, and the back does not have any counterweight. It just feels really nice and balanced. So some of the cool things about the Aztek Siren are that they redesigned this whole front end of the scooter. This end of the scooter up here in the front particularly was prone to cracking in the welds. So like I said, these welds, they're not the prettiest, but this is really smart. It's one single weld that goes up here, all the way up the front and all the way down the back to connect this head tube to the deck. And he does the same thing on the other side. And then 2 plates on the front so you don't get burnout little, dented front ends from doing too many smiths. So this front end of the scooter, a lot of people are nervous about this and thinking, oh, that's just an area for stuff to break. Well, no. How many decks do you know with the same cutout for the wheel that's actually snap dropouts in the back? It's not very common. So he's really smart. It cuts out weight, and it also cuts out the cracks and should strengthen the deck quite a bit. And also another cool thing about this deck is that it has these spacers in the back, aluminum spacers that encase the steel axle that goes into the wheel, and then the aluminum spacer touches the aluminum on the deck and encases the steel. So it's aluminum to aluminum contact and then aluminum to steel contact, but the steel never touches the actual deck, which I think is really smart, just because 2 different hardness metals interacting together in one spot that's really crucial and prone to crack. It's a really smart way to counteract that. And also they have 2 giant deck ends here in the back that slide straight through the extrusion and hold your nut on the other side. That way you only need 1 Allen key to tighten them. At the skate park, it's a breeze. It's awesome. They also have a brake polished on the top. Looks like it's just for looks, and it looks good. And 2 bolts with a little rubber bushing on the bottom as well. So these brakes are great. They work great. I choose not to use them. I like fenders, but same difference. It's a great brake. Altogether, this deck is set up ready for you to ride something wider. It fits 125mm wheels, 110mm wheels, and 30mm wide wheels, as long as you have spacers to fit it. Another thing too is I've been told there's 12mm standard pegs coming on the way as well. So if you're into the bigger bearings and the wider wheels, then at some point I think Aztek is going to release a set of deck ends, spacers, and an axle for this deck, because the spacers that go into the deck are 12mm on the side that extends into the deck. So the holes are already drilled out for 12mm standard. I'm gonna weigh it with the brake, the bolts, the spacers, and the pegs, just to see how much it weighs all together. 4 pounds, 3.1 ounces. So this is the setup that I've been riding with my Siren for the past week or so. So the pros, of course, starting out 6 inches wide. Another pro is the weight and the distribution of weight and the way that it all feels. It just feels so balanced. Another pro is you can fit whatever wheels you want, just with a little bit of love on your end. Another pro also is just the way that it looks. This raw finish is just super raw, and I love the way it looks. When it gets scratched, it gets that much prettier. And you know, I wouldn't want any other colorways on it. Black and raw is perfect. So some cons about the deck. So one of the cons for me is that it's not a little bit longer. A 23 and a half or a 24 I think would be a really good addition to this line. I know a lot of people don't like riding 24s. A lot of people are kind of stingy about the 23 even, but this 23 just goes to show that this is like more of a standard size. And it's not hard to whip. It's a little bit slower of a whip than most other decks, especially if they're shorter, but it's a whip that everybody can handle, and I think it looks better in the end of the day too. Another con, I think, is the fact that I had to shave down my headset, or my head tube, to fit my forks, but that's more of a con on the forks, so I wouldn't stress too hard. I want to say 99% of forks on the market are going to end up fitting this deck. One more con is that these sides are not boxed. I understand that they're kind of trying to give you some wall ride space there, but I would not mind some box sides and just that little, you know, 1/4 inch on each side of deck space, just for sliding. Because if you're going to give me 6 inches, that's a lot, but you know, give me that 1/4 inch on either side too. Altogether though, this deck is something else. It's a move to the future. A lot of people are really stoked about it, and a lot of people probably feel uncomfortable. But to those who feel uncomfortable, hop on one, try your friends, and see how much you really like it. Try a 50-50 because it might change your life. Alright, thanks for watching a Schwagg Science Hour, where we review, we take looks at parts and really break them down and show you what's really good with them. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends, and also follow 7 Roses Pro Scooters on Instagram, and me too, Schwagg the Scientist, and keep updated with all of our new content, new parts, and we're going to be doing more of these videos and show off more parts. So just keep an eye on us, and we'll keep an eye on you. Thanks.